Hey, I get to cut down a lot of trees today. Power lines have to come through here, so I'm gonna guess 30 trees are coming down. See my saw right there? And I was gonna start by just cutting a couple of these tiny little guys out of my way when I looked up. So those little guys are, I mean, you're taking little trees that put my hand around, not too concerned about where they fall or anything. See if I can find it on the camera. Right there. Right there's the guy that'll kill you. So you have a large branch just dangling up there and supported by this tiny ass little tree that I was about to cut down. Andy, why do you wear a helmet when you're cutting down trees? That's the reason. Because you got to look what's above you, and it's unattached. That one's easy to see, but you can get a tree caught with another tree, and it'll pull down a branch out of another tree, and they always go heavy side down and straight down, and they're called a widowmaker for a reason. So yeah, that didn't work. I'll show you what's going on here, but the little tree's down, but not the big one, or the branch. It's still up there. So the tree's gone. It's actually laying over there. I picked it up and carried it. After I cut it so it fell into here, and after I cut it, I wiggled and wiggled and shook it. I could not get that other branch down. Now it's just hanging up there like that. It'll come down with this tree, but forestry is the most dangerous job in America for a reason. And then when you got more than one person cutting, you got to make sure I know what he's doing too. Steve lied to me. He told me we had a half a day of work. I'm done with the work now, but it's almost the end of day 2. Either way, got a lot of trees cut down back here and a lot of brush and shit cleared out. So I'll show you. I'm gonna flip the camera around and show you what's going on. If you look back there, you'll see there's an electric pole right behind those trees. We need to have another electric pole exactly where I'm standing. These trees came out along there. The trees that are left are the ones that the power company said that they wanted to take down for us. I'll explain that in a minute, but we can walk up here and I'll show you what I've done in the last day and almost 2 days. Steve and I cut out all the little stuff, and then he limbed while I dropped trees, and his brother-in-law Hugo drug branches out, and then we came back today and finished chopping it up. That biggest tree there is the one with the saw on it, quite a bit larger than the saw. The oak that's standing right there, that one I cut down was bigger. That was a pretty cool tree to watch drop. There's this little tree right here next to the power pole. Steve wondered if he could just push it over, and he pushed it with the tractor. When it bounced back, it knocked the ground wire knocked the power wire into the ground, knocked out the power to the whole neighborhood. We didn't realize that. We just knew he threw a bunch of sparks, but I dropped all them. I just kept dropping them all on top of each other. I'd drop a tree and then we'd limit, get it out of there, drop a tree, drop a tree. Got to be a big pile of logs at the end, but it was kind of handy to put all the logs in one spot and not really have to move them. I'll show you this tree versus my saw. That might be the shortest way across the tree. We're still a handful of inches short. Always makes it more difficult when you have to go from both directions, but it went well. Like 2:30 or something like that. I think it's time to call it a day. Yeah, I got everything cleared out. I don't know when the power company is going to be here to put in the pole, but we're going to put a building in over there as soon as the pole's in, so hopefully sooner than later. Thought it was done. I thought I had, well, I showed you those 3 little trees and that cedar tree they were going to cut down. Yeah, they cut down another big oak and a couple other trees too. The power company did when they got here, so check this out. So they cut down that little cedar and just left it in the air for me. And then They cut down that oak that I didn't know was coming down. I knew this little stuff was coming down. So I'm just back to chop all this stuff off and drag the brush into the woods, chop all this stuff up. Got a little under 2 hours worth of work done here yesterday when the power company kicked me out, but I got a lot of this big oak tree limbed on the other side, but the limbs that are in this side I need to get to. I got to get the cedar out of my way, and yeah, the way it's sitting on a log, I got to worry about it rolling too. I'm not worried about getting the cedar out of my way and rolling. I'm worried about the big oak rolling. So I want to get the cedar out of my way so I can safely work on the oak. But yeah, I figured the cedar looked like a good little time lapse for you to watch.
I can see a sea of alpine green, something that will stay with me. Sky is wrapped in blue, wish that I could share with you, like a photograph when times are good, when a flower begins to bloom. Life never felt so good. You're far, but distance doesn't break your heart. It gives us time to know our love. Grass all wrapped in you. Oh, I wish that I could lie with you. Oh, I know what I would hold on to. A memory when times are good. That's when I think of you. That's when I think of you. Oh, I know what I would hold on to. A memory when times are good. That's when I think of you. That's when I think of you.
I got all the branches off the cedar tree, well, a little bit left up there, but all of this here, I didn't want to remove too much because of the way it's balanced there. And I didn't know where this balanced. Let me know where to point. Yeah, the way it's balanced on that log there. I didn't know how this was going to roll when it was all hidden in the tree. Now I found, I'm going to turn you around. So that's where it's balancing on there. If you look back there, there's a branch that's nicely attached to here. The cedar tree is on top of that branch. So it can't roll this way because it would have to pick up the cedar tree. It can't roll that way because that branch is like a kickstand. So that means everything from about right here all the way out this way, I can get rid of the rest of it now without worrying about it rolling. Like when I got rid of this, it was leaning on here, so I get everything out this way, and then I could get this because I could see where we were at. But yeah, as I work my way in, see what was going on. This is why I like taking down trees myself. I don't take down 5 trees in a row, lay them all on top of each other, and then try to trim them. It's so hard to get down in there and limb that bottom tree when there's 4 trees on top of it. Take down a tree, limb it. Take down a tree, limb it. It's not that hard. But I guess if all I needed to do was take down the trees, I would have left this for someone else too. Hard to believe there's 2 pickup loads, or not pickup, 2 big trailer loads of logs taken out. Steve's neighbor's got the splitter here, and I bet he's got 3 more loads before we're done here, or more still. I was quite disappointed I didn't get to take down this second cedar. It's a little bit smaller than the one I got to take down, but I really like the wallop as they hit the ground. But then I was looking at this here. The person that did take it down, well, here, I'll bring you to where I was. I walked up this way and saw that staining and thought, oh, that usually means there's metal there. And they went through 2 nails with their chainsaw chain. So, yeah, that would have been like an $85 tree to drop with the carbide chains I use. Fingers crossed. When I'm coming down here, there's no more nails in this fucking tree. I shouldn't swear at this tree yet. It hasn't done anything to me. But if it does this to me, I'll be swearing at this tree. But you're not gonna, right? Good tree. Be good to me.
I wish I could see the future, I wish I could see what's left. I know there must be an answer, or am I wasting what is left? And there is such thing as a vision of a story I'd like to live. But when you're stuck inside a prison, you never know how long to give.
That went as well as I could expected it. I had to get out of the way of the one. That little stick almost got me. Oh, I would have tripped and fallen, but that's not the greatest thing to do with the saw in your hand. Ooh, vulture. EDD wins again. Yeah, I think I gotta drag branches out of here before I do anything else. I don't even know if I'm gonna do anything else with this big, with what's left here, or if I'm just gonna hook the van to it, pull it to the ground, and leave it. I don't think I'm gonna cut it up into firewood today. Plus, it's bigger than my chain. That's a pain in the ass when it's bigger around her. Just barely bigger. Power company was nice enough to leave me that one there. It's a cedar, so Steve wants it left. I don't remember 8 foot or 10 foot. I wasn't gonna buck it up. I was just gonna leave the trunk whole. But I'll probably just hook the van to it and pull it out. There's the cedar that I limbed. And I got all these branches that were, well, I guess I got those over there, but I got all these here moved. Some of those are just too big. The ones on top are too big. I got a couple to trim so I can get the rest out. I got trim around this end to pull all that stuff. I still got some work to do. Just lumber left, or whatever, firewood left, that's what I want to say. I got everything else drug off over and over and over and whatnot. And the sun's gone down. Look at all that pretty firewood back there. And I got the big chunk of oak still there. And I'm beat. Time for dinner. I say I'm beat, time for dinner, but I've had like 2 pieces of beef jerky today. It is almost 5 o'clock, and yeah, that's all I've had today. So yeah, I may be beat, but the carnivore diet, now that I've gotten through that keto flu and that, I got a lot of energy. I have had a few carbs though. I had probably 32, 33 grams of carbs yesterday, so I think that's what makes a difference. If 0 carbs, I don't have the energy. I'm not in the ketosis. This seems to be working really well for me. I worked hard all day today and I feel good. I'm beat, but I feel good. These neighbors been taking wood and the chipper's moved, so that means he's taken wood since last time I was here. Oh yeah, a lot of wood.
The splitter?
Splitter, yeah. But that was the big one I took down, and then this. But look at that log. Look how straight that is.
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. It'd make a nice screen room.
That's what my thought is. The power used to go from this pole here to the pole that's on the other side of that trailer there. But because the building's being built right there, you can't have the power line over the building. So that they put that pole in there. So the power comes down the driveway, around the back of the house, loops over back over here to here. It makes no sense to me. I think it should go from that pole across the front of the house over one of those poles over there. I don't get why it loops around the house. But this is the end of the neighborhood then. This is the end of the line of this pole. The other thing they could have done, but it would have cost too much money, is go underground from that pole.
Yeah.
To this building, because this, all of this is just for this building. That little wire that comes down to the transformer from the top wire, when the tree bounced into it, it hit the bottom tension wire there, ground wire, and threw all kinds of sparks. There's supposed to be insulation on there. If you look, it's all burnt off and fallen off in time. So that should have not happened, but it happened. It happened to Stephen, not me, so that's good.
Oh, that's funny. So that is not how you cut a tree down, especially not a tree that somebody wants to use as lumber. The electric company did that, not Andy.
Nancy hasn't touched her saw since she cut herself with it last year, and now she's getting it ready to go for this year.
Oh, did you see this? Just pile of crap. All this stuff here on the ground. Look at this. It was stuffed inside of there. Just packed solid.
That one seems to catch it, but more than the
Here's
gas-powered one.
Here's the...
Like, to the point of gumming it up, catching it.
Yeah.
You haven't used the oil yet, or have you?
No, I have not.
And I won't put it away on you.
I appreciate that. Ooh.
That chunk of oak's probably 21 feet long.
I don't like these.
They always have weird loops that are like a puzzle to get out. Wow, you got it in one shot. At least it's not full of really sharp blades all the way around it.
I don't even know how it goes on.
The chain goes over the top, so the cutter should be pointed away from you on the top of the bar.
Oops. Do I have to loosen it more?
It wouldn't be the first time I've had to do that. And then it ends up being way loose, and I'm like, why couldn't I just have put it on then?
Okay, just the sawdust from this and all the purple inside of here is so pretty.
Yeah, it smells so good too.
The inside of these cedars is like purple red. It's so beautiful. But as soon as it dries, it tends to just go to normal wood color. But it's gorgeous. And the sawdust, beautiful.
And I've been running long enough to see your hand, call your bluff. It looks like I'll be goddamn out of the way. It's looking like dark days. There ain't nobody else to blame. Now somewhere down in hell they call my name. It's looking like another fight. The devil's drinking angels right. burn up my mistakes. So looking at